Welcome to Advocates for Justice Paralegal School. We provide the tools, you do the work. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this video, I'm going to introduce you to the new Firebomb civil rights lawsuit package you can use against the federal or state prosecutors attacking with criminal charges without an injured party to provide jurisdiction to the court. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Coach, what the hell do you know about attacking federal prosecutors? Yeah, well, I'm going to let you guys know exactly how I know what I know. I'll tell you right now, kicking the federal prosecutors up in the butt is what I know by firsthand experience. The foreclosure stuff I had to learn over the years. This other stuff here, I learned through the School of Hard Knocks. Before we get started on all of that and what I know about the federal system, I just want to make sure you guys understand I've never been convicted of anything, and I got haters already checked that on Facebook. And I never took no stinking deal either. So we're going to throw that on the table because those are the two things there. The fact that I never been convicted of federal or state charges, and I never kissed their ass and took any deal shows that I'm on something here. My situation, and I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm just going to touch on it a little bit today, explain to you guys why I do what I do and why I get patient when people call me and ask me when, or when people are paralyzed by fear. I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing what I do here, who my hero really is. Oh, wait, I'm just going to start out with the hero thing. It's my wife, number one hero. Well, number two behind her dad. Because he was a hero to me too. My wife, number one hero, went through everything that they put us through and that they put her through, and not one time did she ever give up. Now we're in a position to help a lot of other people. Now, when I was going through this situation, the feds wanted me to lie on my wife. So that's pretty much... the people ain't got no sense. They wanted me to lie on my wife and say that she was buying and selling stolen property in her used appliance store. The whole thing started with the police giving her a hard time, and she kicked them out of the store. And, most people think it's a black and white thing, No, it's basically, it was them attacking her because she was a woman. They did not like getting kicked out of their store when they came in to search her stuff without a warrant and violating her rights. She showed them to the door. Yeah, they didn't like that, and it turned into a big, my grandma used to say, a pissing contest or whatever, and yeah, that's how that all got started. Now, after a lot of things happened, and they revoked my bond for complaining and demanding that Washington, D.C. look into what these people were doing to my wife, they put me in jail, and they decided they would just hold me in there. And after, 6 months, and there's a few things that happened along the way that I kept doing to piss them off. And I'll talk about some of those things at some point down the way. But anyway, 6 months is as long as they can hold you for contempt of court. So they held me for the 6 months because I kept doing stuff to piss them off. And then they came to me one day and to let me know that they could help me get out today. All I had to do was let them know that there was something going on in my wife's store, and they could get me out of CCA, that shithole. They could get me out of that place that day. They wanted me to lie on my wife. All they had was $1,400 alleged dispute, and that wasn't even dispute. Totally won't even get into that. But yeah, so this ended ugly for us at the time. I told them that they can kiss my stuff. I was not in a hurry to get out of CCA because I liked the food there. That's that's pretty much what I told them. And they got really, really grumpy. My wife decided she was taking their butts to trial even without me there to get her back. They needed me out of their way. So my attorney, Sarah Pilot, agreed with the federal prosecutor that I was mentally ill, and that was how they kept me out of their way. I was shipped across the United States a whole bunch of times to 4 different medical facilities for mental evaluation. I was actually sent back to Butler, North Carolina, federal medical facility with a forced medication order, and that was kind of scary. So Them people taking that medicine down there, it's bad. I appealed the forced medication order and won the appeal, which blocked the mental facility from following through with the forced medication order. After that, the government held me in the medical facility for 6 more months. They were really, really not happy about that. And I want to say along the way, there was a lot of people that helped me along the way. So I didn't do this by myself. I had a lot of help, not to mention my wife, Linda. I won't mention any last names, but there were several people, obviously in my family and my kids, my mother-in-law. There were people that had my back the whole way. They forced me to stay in the medical facility for an additional 6 months after I got done kicking their ass. But while I was there, they violated my wife, and her attorney, John Duma, helped the government convict her for money laundering, wire fraud, stolen property, for stolen property that they said she sold on eBay. Fed said my wife made tens of thousands of dollars selling stolen property and paying people to go out and steal property. These people are so freaking out of control, paying people to go out and steal. And so I was like, well, shit, I need to go I went and have a talk with my wife. I'm like, dude, you've been holding out. We got that much money and we're doing all this work ourselves. I'm delivering appliances and furniture and doing moving jobs, and I hired a crew of people that work for me. I'm doing all of this work, and I own that. We need to go out and get ourselves some nice shit. I don't know, a jet ski. We need to get it down. We need to get a jet ski, or maybe just a nice car. Because we didn't have all of that stuff that you're supposed to have when you make tens of thousands of dollars selling stolen property and have a big ring where you're paying people to go steal stuff. It was just so ridiculous. My wife's attorney, John Duma, did not call a single witness nor file the CDs that she had proving the government lied. He didn't do anything to help her. And there lies pretty much the motivation on why I do what I do. My wife spent 5 years in a camp for nothing, for standing up for her civil rights. This package is personal, and I'm going to use it to clear my wife's name. You guys are going to get the best there is when you invest in this package. One of my goals in doing what I'm doing to ensure the government would never find value in getting back up in my wife's face. In the process of doing that, I got a little out of control. And I'm teaching you guys how to make these thieves stay the hell out of your faces too. My government vacation took 33 months. When they finally released me, my wife was gone on her government vacation. The federal prosecutors filed a less penniless lien against our property and had the bank foreclose on it before I was released. Now, part of that wonderful deal that they offered me was that they were going to allow me to keep my 2,800 square foot house. And funny how they see things. They use fear to get you to take the deal. They don't have no 98% conviction rate. They have a 98% plea rate is what they have. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. I guess that fear shit works for a lot of people, but not for me. I don't have enough time to train a new hot woman. I mean to be trained. I mean something there. I married my high school sweetheart, and I'm not trading her for a house y'all asses have a less penniless lien against. Now, if the lien wasn't... Okay, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, so they wanted to allow me to keep my house that they had a less penniless lien filed against, and everything that they were doing was illegal. My wife was not guilty, or they wouldn't have needed me to testify on their behalf. So I was thinking later on when I was sitting in my cell, they some cheap-ass mofos. I'm just saying, they could not come up with any money to make the deal with me like they did with the people they paid to lie against my wife in her trial. Yeah, they didn't come out with no money for me. All they offered me for the deal to lie on my wife was our own stuff. So I'm thinking next time they should have offered me the house and our business property that they stole from us. So I'm sure the federal prosecutors waited for my response to their wonderful deal before they started the illegal foreclosure action against our property and before they filed the Les Pendens lien, right? No, we're not guilty. And my wife never gave up. She's my hero. I guess I do this in her honor. And all the other people that are still in the house. So now you guys can maybe understand my motivation for what I do. And maybe you understand why I'm passionate about my job. And why I have no patience, or okay, let me try and be nice, very little patience for people who are like this, paralyzed with fear. I don't have time for folks who want to know how many wins do I have, because I don't win nothing. I'm a coach. Those people either have a better game plan or they're paralyzed with fear. So either way, they better throw their own shit in the yard. I'm just saying. This is just kind of a quick rundown of 12 or 15 years of our fight. And I have many stories to share about my journey, and I think maybe I will share some of them. They're very interesting, and when you hear them, there's no way I can make them up. Anyway, I got released. I've never been convicted of any charges of any federal. I've never been convicted on a federal or state level, and I've never taken any deal kissing their ass. And anybody that says they've never been convicted needs to be able to throw that second one in there, because some people didn't get convicted because they kissed some people's ass. The long of the short of it is, I have firsthand experience at punching federal prosecutors in the face. Well, I took most of the punching back then. Okay, but I learned, and I don't see them in my face now. Even though I have at least 23 or 24 states that file complaints against me for the unauthorized practice law without a license. And, the unauthorized practice law without a license, I'm like, what the hell? I'm not doing the same thing you assholes are doing, okay? I'm teaching people how to help themselves, okay? And I'm not taking their whole bank account to get the job done. So lawsuit package allow you to sue the players for the illegal court process and procedures they use to violate your due process right. And when I first started out making these packages a bunch of years back, we start arguing their stuff and the lies and what we figured from all of the real-time feedback that I get from my Facebook team that's using my products. All of that feedback has helped us come to the conclusion that we need to stop playing and just sue players for the illegal court process and procedures. When there's no injured party, the judge has no jurisdiction to sign on to further the case in court. The prosecutor signed to move the dispute into court and therefore is liable for your damages caused by their illegal court processes. Now, the state or federal government is the corporation paying the judge to rule, where the judge does not have legal authority. And the state or federal government is the corporation bringing the charges forward in an administrative court process. Today is your lucky day if the prosecutor is attacking you without an injured party. This new non-conventional civil rights lawsuit package has the firepower and strategies you need to stop being a damn defendant. 42 U.S.C. 1983 Civil Rights Lawsuit Package is structured so you can file your federal lawsuit against the prosecutors who initiated the illegal charges, the person who signed on in court to govern their illegal court process, and the corporation who paid all of the above. Judge has conflict of interest and accepts civil liability for signing on to the case without an injured party, without citing a valid law to provide jurisdiction to the court. Did the federal attorney the government hired from you to protect your rights tell you to take the deal? Did you know that the attorney gets a $3,500 assistance of counsel bonus as soon as you sign to take the deal, in addition to what the government is paying them to protect your stinking rights? Did the attorney the government hired from you tell you that you can file a counterclaim in the prosecutor's face? Did the attorney the government hired from you tell you that you can add the prosecutor's bar card to your counterclaim as damages? I don't think they told you that. Did the attorney the government hired from you tell you that you can sue the government before they're done with your arraignment? And they got so many people there jacking up. Yep. You can have your lawsuit filed next week. Did you know when you sign to take the deal, the judge does not have to abide by the deal because only the prosecutor agreed to the deal? Enroll in my webinar and learn the dirty tricks the prosecutors pull and what you need to do to protect your civil rights. Invest in my civil rights package and get the tools and the coaching that you need to get this done. What motivates me? Had a lady ask me that the other day. Of course, I'm thinking, I don't think she watched very many of my videos, but you know what? I appreciate the question. I had to think for a second. What motivates me? What motivates me is not being able to protect the people that I love. What motivates you? Now, I'm going to make a new video in a few days, and I'm going to let you guys know when the Civil Rights webinar is going to take place. And if you're facing any of these problems, you can come to that webinar. It's going to be $75. And we'll probably spend an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. We'll see how many people show up. I want to make sure that when we're done, everybody who shows up feels like they got value for the time that they spent. And I'll answer your questions. I'll explain to you what happened to me and what I've heard happen to other people. And you'll be very interesting because it all plays out into a pattern. And if you understand the pattern, you're still going to have some fear. I'm just going to be real. You're still going to have some fear. But if you understand the pattern and the opportunity and the options that you have, it's going to make this whole process a little bit more simple. And keep in mind that what you're getting from my business, my coaching, my products is what I would use right now, tomorrow, if they got back in my face or up in my wife's face. So now you can learn how the federal prosecutors roll. I'm going to leave a link to the package. It's on my website. So you can go to my website and take a look at it. It's just Civil Rights Lawsuit Package. And it's pretty plain and simple and quite a bit of information about it. So you guys can go there and check it out at winningcourtnow.com. And thank you guys for the privilege of sharing your time. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, don't forget, click on those ads so that I can get paid for providing this free fire that you guys are getting. So click on those ads so I can get paid, and make sure that you subscribe and like and all the other stuff. But click on the ads so I can get paid. See you guys in the next video.